The death of a 32-year-old young woman in Tenali, Andhra Pradesh has sent shockwaves across not just the state but across the country. That's because Geetanjali was someone who had very happily expressed her joy at being allotted a house under the government housing scheme in Andhra Pradesh. And subsequently, she spoke to some channel and expressed happiness that she had received certain benefits from several of the welfare schemes of the Jagan Mohan Reddy government and said that she would in fact be voting for that government. That video went viral because the YSRCP used her as a campaigner of the day, and subsequently that video went viral and then started the trolling of Geetanjali on multiple social media channels. As we know, even in rural India, huge amount of social media is consumed, and Geetanjali started getting phone calls and she started getting postings on her social media account asking why she had made such statements. There were derogatory, humiliatory, very personal, vulgar comments about her, very offensive comments about her, and as this happened, she started getting very disturbed by them as well. This happened on the 4th of March, and on the 7th of March, she was hit by a train at the railway station, and subsequently she was hospitalized Guntur government hospital, and on the 11th of March she succumbed to her injuries. She is mother to two young girls, 6 years old and 8 years old, and her husband has said that after that very innocent comment, he says she was a very impulsive young woman who in fact expressed her happiness at being given anything, and that's what she had done on that day, he says, even without being prompted, and subsequently seems to have paid a price for it because she was not able to take the kind of taunts, the kind of social media trolling that happened on her. The YSRCP government says that it is trolling by politically motivated TDP handles that led to this kind of abusive content being directed at her and subsequently leading to her death. The police have registered a case of suspicious death, but the reasons that led to it are also now being investigated. Let's now come to the larger issue of trolling itself. March 12, 1989 was the date when in fact Tim Berners-Lee had proposed the idea of a World Wide Web, and from then to now, 35 years, we have come a long way, but have we really come a long way? Social media was something that is supposed to democratize the media space so that not just the rich and influential, but also others can have a voice and opportunity to express themselves and share their opinion in the public domain. And this space has been made very toxic by the trolls who have come in there, and very often women, especially women journalists, are also a target of this. And multiple times we have seen this happening, that like in the case of Geetanjali, where she was called a pimp, she was called someone who is selling her self for money, and there were other offensive comments as well, very vulgar, indecent comments as well, that were directed at her. And women journalists very often suffer this kind of attacks as well in the course of doing their own job. A very senior journalist belonging to one of the leading channels, in fact, had faced this trolling during the Sankranti festival and subsequently also filed a police case, and cases were filed under multiple sections of the law, and yet there has been no headway made with her being told by the investigators that because they were all fake handles and there's no real person behind that, they were not able to take any action. There are 2 points here. One, this journalist herself is proposing that why can't these social media handles be allowed to be created only when they give a genuine ID, so that we don't have so many fake IDs and people, bots, who are operating and using this kind of abusive language and very offensive language, especially against women. Very often it is threat of sexual violence, there is intimidation, and there is humiliation that is attempted to be done through this kind of trolling. The other appeal is to political parties, not just to a Telugu Desam, which is being blamed in this case, but every other political party which is having its social media teams, and all of us know that it's an open secret that there are social media handles, Twitter handles, that are handled by these people, anonymous people who do not use their original names and yet target journalists based on the political masters who are paying for them, and therefore they use that kind of offensive content to intimidate in order to humiliate those people in the public domain and try and discredit these kind of journalists. So why can't political parties take a stand that they will not allow this kind of offensive content to be used against women journalists, not just women journalists, but the larger women community as well, when they are in this public domain and space, so that the party itself comes off at least a little better off, saying that we do not support this kind of abusive activity against women. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.